Hey guys, it's Leneva. I just want to let you know my channel is now called Crowned in Grace. And my husband and I kind of came up with that name. We're just looking for a name instead of just my name for it. We thought it'd be really cool to come up with a name for it. And we decided on Crowned in Grace because I believe we live every day bathed in the grace that God gives us every day to have a new day, to wake up and start fresh and new, and to the grace we need to give to each other and the grace that I've received from others and the Lord. So I really like that name, Crowned in Grace. So that is going to be my my channel name. And I also put together a little intro video kind of thing with a logo and some music that my husband put together, which I absolutely love. It is fabulous and it's amazing and it sounds so fun and I really like it. But today I wanted to share with you something that I am been wanting to talk to you guys about for a while, just never actually done it, and that would be our move to Tulsa, and how it went, how it started, how it came about, how it's been since we've been here. And so to start off, my husband and I had always wanted to move out of Colorado. We just never seemed to have come across the right time or the right destination to go to or anything like that. We were just like, we want to get out of here, but we don't know how and we don't know when. At the time, we were watching lots of sermons online, different pastors, John Gray, T.D. Jakes, Stephen Furtick, Michael Todd, watching all kinds of different sermons. And one day I just had this unction, this inkling inside. It was the Spirit telling me that we were going to be moving to one of the places that one of those churches are. And as we were watching more and more, we felt more and more drawn to Tulsa, Oklahoma. And so we decided we were going to go ahead and move here. And that was probably late 2018, early 2019, we decided that we were going to move to Tulsa. We had originally put a date on this last September to move out here, but God had other plans for us. We wanted to wait that time frame to kind of get over the heat and the mugginess of the summer, because no one wants to move in the middle of the summer anywhere remotely close to the south. That's just not fun. So we originally planned on September, because that would have given us enough time to save enough money and be more secure and stable in where we were moving, and finding jobs and a place to live and whatnot. We felt like that would have given us enough time to do that and to find somewhere to live. And so we started looking around at some different apartments, different homes to rent, different duplexes, all this kind of stuff, different places where we could move down here. And I looked for days and days and I couldn't find anything. Like I was exhausted from looking for places, because we not only had to find somewhere that was pet friendly but didn't have breed restrictions because of Chloe and her being a pit bull. And so Drew decided that he was going to go ahead and start looking for some apartments. And on the very first day that he started looking, he actually found the place that we're in now, called the Place at Quail Hollow. And they didn't have breed restrictions. It was a good price. The pictures looked great. Later to find out, not so great, but that's okay. We're here. And so through talking with them and figuring out the process for moving across state and what they would need for like income verification and all that kind of stuff, we found out that they were having a great special, and they were giving us, we got almost $1,000 off moving costs, and that's with deposits, discounts on first month's rent, discounts on first month's rent, and we thought that was a great opportunity. And as we were going and talking about it more, we felt God just opening up more and more doors for us, as far as the moving and finances and whatnot. And we felt him tell us we just needed to get here. We just needed to jump the gun and move. And I felt very unsure about it at first. I was like, I don't know. We agreed in September, and now we're wanting to move here, and it's only March, but we're thinking about moving, and we don't have anything set in stone. But we felt the Lord tell us we needed to go ahead and get to Tulsa. So we put in the application to live here, and we got approved. Within, I think it was like 3 days, we heard back and we got the okay to go ahead and move in, and we gave them our move-in date of April 1st. So we're like, oh my goodness, we have to do this now. We're moving, we have somewhere to live. We put down, I don't know what it's about, like holding money to hold the apartment for us until we could actually get down there and sign the lease. So we had done that. We paid all this money. We paid application fees, which actually credited back on the first month's rent, so that was pretty cool. But we still had to pay for them. And so we started packing up our stuff, and I tried to get rid of stuff little by little. I'm sure a lot of you saw a whole bunch of stuff I was selling on Facebook, to kind of get some extra money coming in to save for the move, and so we didn't have to take so much stuff down here to Oklahoma. Now we moved from a 3-bedroom, 2-bath, double-wide manufactured home with a storage shed to a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, less than 1,000 square foot apartment. We grossly underestimated the amount of stuff that we needed to purge and get rid of, but we're doing that slowly as we're here. We're getting rid of more and more stuff. So the time came to actually move here. And we had booked a U-Haul, a 23-foot U-Haul or whatever that size, 23, 25 foot, which we felt like would have been enough to put all of our stuff in, get down here, haul one of the cars, and then I drive the other one with both of the dogs. At the time we had Zoe and Chloe. And when I got the confirmation, said we would have a 23-foot truck and one car hauler, but when the time came to actually pick up the U-Hauls, they didn't have one. It was, well, they had one, but it was on the other side of Denver. It was all the way in Centennial, I think. And those of you who are from Colorado realize how far Evans is from Centennial. It was either Centennial or Aurora, something, I can't remember. It was on the other side of Denver, that's all I remember. And they wanted us to go all the way down there to pick up our truck. And when I called to talk to them, they're like, oh, we guarantee equipment, not pickup location. And so I was really frustrated because the truck that I had booked and paid for or reserved wasn't available. And they're like, well, what we can do is we can give you 2 smaller trucks and 2 car haulers for, we'll give you the other car hauler for free, but you would have to pay for the other truck. And so, hold on, water break. So, after much deliberation, we talked about it for a couple of hours, so for us to decide what we need to do, because we had to make a decision so we could pick up our trucks the next day, or truck. And so I talked to my family, I talked to my parents and my brother and my husband, and we decided the best thing to do was to just get the 2 trucks. I wasn't comfortable driving across the country with a U-Haul, let alone a U-Haul hauling a car with a dog in the truck with me. I wasn't really comfortable with that. That gave me a lot of anxiety, made me very anxious. And so I really didn't want to do that. So we got the trucks loaded up, and I was just getting more and more nervous as we were going. And my parents came to help us get the trucks loaded up. And then we went out after we finished. My parents took us out to dinner, and we were talking, and Mom didn't feel at peace about me driving a truck across country. So my dad ended up being able to take the next couple of days off and drive down here with us. Um, drive the other truck, and I was with him, and then my husband drove the other truck, and he had the dogs in the truck with him. And he helped us get down here, thankfully, and I'm so grateful for that he was able to help us get here and help for a little bit of the move-in day until I had to take him to the airport. So that was very stressful, but we got here and we're very grateful to be here. Then we got here, signed the lease, got everything moved in, and got the trucks returned. And it was definitely a whirlwind. It was definitely a lot. It was very stressful, but it's been great since we've been here. We have really enjoyed the culture. The job situation's been a little tricky. We've been in and out of work since we've been here, but we have been faithful in staying here and obeying God and what He's been asking us to do. We're still not 100% sure why we're here. We thought we were called here to join Transformation Church and be a part of that. But when we got here, we started going there, we kind of felt the Lord leading us a different direction. And He kind of told us, I needed something to get you here. I needed something to get you to Tulsa, Oklahoma, but that is not that's not why I brought you here. That drew you here, but that's not why you're here. But I brought you here through the vehicle of Transformation Church. So we're sitting here like, wow, did we make the right decision? Like, are we really supposed to be here? And we do still feel like we're supposed to be here. This is where God has called us to be. Through the time that we have been here, we've been to a couple of churches and tried to help out one in particular, and it ended up getting really weird. And essentially, they told us to get rid of our dog if we wanted to serve at the church, which we felt was very wrong. There was something very wrong with that. So we left that church. And we've just been enjoying, we've been going to different churches here and there, trying to figure out where we're supposed to be and where we're supposed to go. And there's so many churches here, so many. It's like you can't go more than a mile and a half without running into a different church, which is really cool because there are so many here. We just have to find the right one that we're supposed to be at and that we're supposed to help with. And since we've been here, crazy things have happened. My grandfather passed in April, right after we moved here a couple of weeks, and ended up having to go down for his funeral, and we drove overnight for that to get there. And with that, we had brought both of the dogs with us, Zoe and Chloe. And since we had been here, Zoe got way more aggressive, and she wasn't fitting in. And we felt like she was, like we had her for as long as we were supposed to have her. So we had made the decision while we were driving down there that we were going to try to rehome her when we got back, because she almost bit one of the residents here at our new complex. She was barking 24/7 and was getting very mean and rude to Chloe. So we when we first got down there, we stayed in Alabama with his foster parents, and at the time his foster parent sister was at the house, and her family absolutely fell in love with Zoe. So we left Zoe in Alabama with them, and Zoe is living the life of her dreams. They absolutely love her. She fits in perfectly with their family. So we feel like we were a temporary home for her to get her to her permanent family. And that was just such a blessing to us, because we know how people are when you get a dog off of Facebook. Some people don't necessarily treat the dog well, and we wanted better for her. So we were going to really try to interview people to rehome her. But we ended up being able to let her stay in Alabama with people that we knew and people that we trusted and people that loved her and really wanted to keep her. So that was awesome. And then when we got back, the weather here is beautiful. I love it. We had mini tornado warnings, which is typical. It's Oklahoma. It's gonna happen. So we had a great summer, but our air conditioner broke, and that was horrific. It was horrible. It broke at the end of May, and they just kept putting band-aids on it and kept saying, oh, we'll just put more Freon in, it's fine, we'll put more Freon in. And what it would do is it would freeze up about every other week, and we would have to put in a work order to fix it every other week. And that was really frustrating because it's the middle of summer. It is hotter than you would believe. You wouldn't believe. We're on the top level and we have a vaulted ceiling. So all of those factors made it extremely hot in our apartment. And even with the AC on full blast, it was 80 plus degrees in here, which isn't safe really for anybody, and especially if you have a dog. It's not healthy, it's not safe. They can overheat very easily in those types of conditions. It was 80-90 degrees in here in an apartment with AC on full blast. So after a few months of arguing with the complex and continuing to put in work orders, they finally got us a brand new air conditioner, and they replaced the unit outside, and they thought they fixed the issue. And then they said it shouldn't happen again. You're all good. We've got the right unit in there. You should be fine. Essentially, they had the wrong size unit, apparently, for our size apartment. For our air conditioner unit outside, is what they told us. So they got us a new outside unit, which we thought was awesome at the time, but it didn't fix the issue. It was still freezing up about every other week. So with continued work orders, I would say in September, we actually got a brand new air conditioner unit. No, I think it was August. It had to be August. Beginning of August, we actually got a whole new inside unit, and it takes up the entire closet, as where before it was like not even half the closet was the air conditioner, and now it's pretty much the whole thing. But the guy he had to cut some of the drywall, and they never fixed it. So we've got like this whole around our air conditioner closet that's just empty space because they didn't come and fix the drywall, which is really weird. But we finally got a new air conditioner, and then we both got a really great job with MetLife. And then we found out before we started that it was eventually going to transfer over to this company called DXC. And we had to get our FINRA Series 6 license to work there, doing annuity customer service essentially. And we studied really hard. I ended up passing my test, and I'm still there to this day. But unfortunately, my husband didn't pass. So, he went back to the train of looking for work, got a job elsewhere. But we love it here. The culture is great. There's so much diversity here, and even though you wouldn't think Colorado is a very prejudiced state, it is to a sense, because there were times where we were turned away from churches because we were mixed, or we were told he couldn't serve on the worship team because for this reason or that. And when we would go out places, we would get very not so nice looks from people. And here it's amazing. No one second glances at us. No one thinks twice about us being a mixed couple, which is amazing. And it's really nice, and it's a relief, and it's the norm here, and it's great. And since we've been here, we love the weather. The weather is phenomenal. It's gorgeous almost every day. The summer is hot, yes, but so far this winter has been super mild. There's been a couple bone-chilling cold days, but not really. And we're already midway through January. So that's that. But we got Shadow in November, and she has gotten so big. I would show you, but she's in her kennel taking a nap, and we love her. She is such a ball of joy. She brings such great joy to us, and to our little family, and her and Chloe get along wonderfully, and it is such a relief to have brought in another dog for a playmate for Chloe, a sister for Chloe, and they're definitely meant to be sisters. They're so happy together. They play all the time. They wrestle, and Shadow is not a quote like a wimpy dog. She's not wimpy. She's very tough like Chloe, so they can wrestle and roughhouse and play hard, and it's so fun to watch, and it brings such joy to my heart that they're getting along so well. One thing that I did discover since we've been here is I've been dealing with anxiety. I'm going to go over that in another video and go more in depth about that, but I've been there's been sorry, this is hard. I haven't really told anyone about this besides my mom. I have been dealing with it for a really long time, longer than I would like to admit, because those of you who know me, I'm a very stubborn person, and I didn't think I had anything wrong with me. I thought I could fix my issues on my own and that I didn't need help, but I've been dealing with anxiety for a really long time, and I just didn't know that's what it was. And recently, I'm actually really grateful for those of you on Facebook who have been sharing more about mental health and mental illness and what anxiety really is. And I was just kind of sitting here one day, and I saw a whole bunch of posts, and I was like, you know what? I'm going to go ahead and look and see what some of the symptoms of anxiety are. And I was just looking through, and I know self-diagnosis is one of the most horrible things you can do. But I was just looking through, I'm like, oh, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense, that makes sense. Kind of like checking off on a list, and almost everything that I'm struggling with to grow, things about myself that I don't like, that I'm trying to change, things that hurt relationships that I'm in, hurt my marriage, hurt myself. They're all related back to anxiety, and I have been seeing a therapist since probably mid-November, and that's been great, but I'm going to go into more detail about that in another video. But that is one thing that I discovered since I've been down here, and since I've been down, I've had some really interesting health issues that I think were also anxiety related and shock related for being in a different culture, or a different climate, not culture, different climate. I've been to the hospital twice since I've been here, and I haven't even been here a full year yet, not even a calendar year. So that was been horrible. At the end of August, right before the weekend before I actually started the job at MetLife, I was having severe pain in my abdominal region, and ended up going to the hospital because, I was just gonna stick it out and be like, I'm fine. This is just weird. Like, I'll be fine. I don't want to go. We don't really have the money to go. We can't afford another hospital bill. But my husband was like, no, I think we should go. And we did. Come to find out that I had diverticulitis, and they gave me pain medication and some antibiotics, and that went away, thankfully. But I had another mild flare-up about a month or so ago, and that was frustrating. But it was very mild, and I was able to get it under control. And then I had a severe ear infection in October that I had to go to the ER for as well, because I couldn't move. I was in so much pain, and nothing I did relieved it. And then they ended up giving me some pain medication, and we got that under control. So that's really good. But I've been to the hospital twice since we've been here, but I am hoping to get better, get healthier. I have been trying to change my diet, and I am actually really going to be eating healthier starting this upcoming week. So I'm really excited to that. And I actually get to go to my grandma's wedding next month, which I am really excited about. I didn't think I was going to get to go, just because of finances and work, because my job is ridiculous. And some things there just don't make sense. But I'm not going to get into that. And so I didn't think I was going to be able to go, because I didn't know if I was going to get the time off, and I definitely didn't have the money to go. But I am actually going to get to go in February, and I'm really looking forward to that. And I'm excited for a couple of reasons that have nothing to do with going to the wedding. I'm excited because I finally get to get a haircut. I haven't had my haircut in about a year, and it's gotten really long, so I can stand up for you and show you, like, it's really long, and the ends from like here on is just like, it's just like dead hair, and it needs to go. It is so, it's to the point where those of you who have had long hair and haven't taken care of it like you're supposed to will know that when your hair gets really long and it's dead on the ends, it just makes your whole hair feel nasty, and it makes like you're fighting knots and tangles all day long, and it's really frustrating. And so I'm excited because this gives me an excuse to spend money on myself and get a haircut. So I'm really excited about that. Like really excited. Yay. But anyway, I just wanted to share all that with you. How life has been since we've been in Tulsa. It's great. There's some great restaurants that we've been to. And one place that we went to recently actually blessed us with a whole bunch of free food, just because they were sold out of everything. We weren't even going there to buy anything. We were just going to see what they had, and they sent us home with this big ol' like those turkey roasting pans that you buy at Walmart, like the throwaway ones. They sent us one big whole one of those home with chicken, which was amazing. It was so good. Oh my gosh, it was so good. Excuse me. But there's so many good restaurants here. That place is called Burn Co. And we'd heard about it, and we'd heard that it's really good. And so we actually, my manager actually pushed us over the edge to go and to check it out and see what it was all about. And it is the best barbecue I have had in my life. And I've been to a lot of barbecue, because barbecue is one of my favorite foods. So if anyone ever comes to see me, or visit us here in Oklahoma, or you're in the Tulsa area and just visiting, or if you even live here, go to Burn Co. It is fabulous. It is phenomenal. And barbecue won't be the same for me, honestly. And that sounds really silly, but barbecue restaurants aren't the same anymore. There's, on the note of food, there's so much good food here. It's so funny because we before we got here, we both love Zaxby's. Zaxby's is like our place to go. We both love it. It's delicious. And we didn't have one in Colorado, but there's some in Alabama and Georgia, where we would both had them before. And we looked, and there was, before we even moved here, before we even got the okay for the application, this is so silly, one of the first things we did was see how far a Zaxby's was from our apartment. And it's really not that far. It's maybe like 7 or 8 miles from our apartment. So we can go there and bring it home when it's still hot. So that's really fun. And actually, we got, when we moved here, that was the very first meal that we ate here, really, after having moved in. So obviously we ate here at the hotel when we got here the night before we moved in. Excuse me. Obviously we ate dinner and breakfast before we started moving everything in, but after we got the trucks unloaded, essentially what we had to do is we needed to get the trucks back, get them back early, because there was really nowhere to park them here. So we got everything off the truck and on the front little grassy area between the parking lot and the apartment. And then he went to go drop them off one by one. And then we ended up getting everything just upstairs and just put down somewhere. Like, we just got everything inside the apartment, and we were exhausted. It took us, I think, 9 or 10 hours to get the trucks fully unloaded and everything upstairs with just the two of us. And I don't know how many of you have seen this particular piece of furniture I'm going to show you. It was my aunt's, and it's one of the last pieces that we are still in the family. But it is, let me unclip you here. So it is this thing. So this is solid wood. Super, super heavy. It goes all the way down. It is taller than anything else that we have ever had. And to get that out of my great aunt's house, hold on. Right. To get that out of my great aunt's house, it initially went to my parents' house, and it needed like, stop it. 3 or 4 guys, grown men, strong men, to get it out of her house and into my parents' house. And to get it out of our house, it took my husband and my brother and my dad getting it out of the door, and it actually, I say this weirdly, it punched my brother in the face when we were getting out of our home. So we didn't know how the two of us were going to get it up the stairs and into our apartment. But we did somehow. God found a way to give us strength to get that up here. And I'm not looking forward to moving that out. So when we do eventually move in April of 21, if you're in the Tulsa area, I'm recruiting you to help us and get that out of here, because it's really heavy and I don't think I can get it down the stairs. Getting up the stairs is a miracle in itself. But yeah, we got everything up and and we just kind of put everything down and just went to go get food. And that was the first thing we went to. We went to put on Zaxby's on the GPS, and we went there. We could barely move. We were so sore and exhausted and just tired. It was probably around 7:30 or 8 by the time we walked into Zaxby's, and we're just like walking like we're like we're old people and could barely move. But we were so hungry because we didn't stop for lunch. I know that's not good. It's not smart or safe. But we didn't stop for lunch. We had a big breakfast and we just muscled through it, and we just kept telling ourselves, as soon as we're done, we're gonna go get something to eat, because we didn't have anyone to like go run and get us food or anything. We just moved. We didn't know anyone, obviously. So after I dropped my dad off at the airport, I stopped excuse me at the gas station, got us a couple snacks, but not a real meal. So Zaxby's was like the first meal that we had after being in our apartment. And it's one of our favorite places to go. But there's so much around here. Everything that we need is within 5 miles or 5 minutes of us, really. More like 5 minutes. Work's the only thing that's kind of far away, but there's hardly any traffic here. It's wonderful. Like, for example, it really only takes 20 minutes to get anywhere. And that's really cool. But, for example, traffic here is like an extra maybe 5 minutes. And it's not bad. The only time it's really bad is around the highways when it's time for around between 5 and 6. And that's about it. Other than that, the traffic's really not that bad. And it is wonderful. And people here talk like, people who have lived here their whole lives talk about the traffic being bad here, and we just kind of laugh and chuckle to ourselves, because it's nothing. It's a breeze, coming from where we've lived and where we've been. But it's great here. We really like it. We're really happy here. We actually just made the decision to stay in this apartment another year. which we're not quite sure what's going to happen. Everyone in the office is getting fired and replaced, and so is the maintenance staff. So that's going to be interesting to see what happens this upcoming year. So we're not quite sure what's going to happen, but we've decided we're going to stay here another year, just because it's reasonable. There's no need to stress ourselves out on trying to find somewhere else to live, or trying to come up with the costs for moving again. And I'm happy to stay here another year, so we don't have to move. We're gonna get more into that spare room. I never showed you the video. I was going to post it, but I decided against it. Of that spare room and get in there, because essentially everything that was in our spare room, in our office, and in our shed is in that room. So there's so much stuff in there that just needs to be gone through, thrown out, donated, sold, whatever. There's just so much stuff in there. And we put together the bed because it was going to be a guest room, but once we realized how much stuff we had, it's not going to be able to be a guest room for any time soon. So we're actually going to work on getting the bed taken apart, so there's more room to get around in there and organize things and go through things. But that is all that I can think of now at this time. So I really want to thank you guys if you watched this long. I really appreciate it. I miss all of you guys back home in Colorado, in England, and those of you in Georgia and other parts of the world and the country. It's been hard to be here without family or friends, but it's been good. And it's been refreshing. But I do miss all you guys, and I hope to see you all soon. Georgia people, I'll see you at the end of February at Grandma's wedding, which I'm super excited for. Colorado, I don't know when we're going to get back there. It needs to happen, because I need to go see my chiropractor and my doctor for some support for the anxiety, with some natural support for my anxiety. Instead of, I don't want to take any pills or anything like that. That's not what I want to do. I'm trying to do it and deal with it other ways, which again is a video for another day. But thank you so much all for watching Crowned in Grace, the first episode where it's officially announced that that's the name, and it just makes me happy that we have a name, and we have an intro video, or I have. So that's really exciting. Some other things that we want to do in the future are like box samples, if that makes, like not mukbangs, but like there's subscription boxes that you can sign up for, that send you snacks from around the world. And we do want to do one of those and do a video on that, because we love watching those on YouTube. And we think it'd be fun to share that with you guys on my channel. So we'll be doing that at some point. Hopefully the next video that I bring you guys is going over and talking to you guys about my anxiety. That might be a little bit really difficult and emotional for me. So we'll see if I can get through that. If not, it'll be something else. One of the other things that I'm going to do here soon, just for some fun, just something different, is at one point I bought like a book. It's called the Book of Questions, and it's kind of like a would you rather book, where it gives you like two options: would you rather do this or this? And I think that'd be fun to do some of those questions on camera and talk about those. So there's some interesting things coming, hopefully. But thank you so much for watching this long, and I love you guys, and I will see you in the next time.